I did not show up to my son's wedding, but the police did. By the time the doors opened, everything was already over. The music had been playing. Soft piano, white flowers everywhere. Guests smiling like they were part of something perfect. My son, Ethan Carter, stood at the altar in a tailored black suit. His shoulders were tense, but his eyes were bright. He believed he was about to start the happiest chapter of his life. 5 minutes later, that life shattered in front of everyone. You are probably wondering what kind of mother does not show up to her only son's wedding. I asked myself that question all night. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the pale blue dress I had bought months ago. Ethan once told me that color made me look younger. I kept touching the fabric, like it could pull me back into a version of the story where everything was still intact. But it could not, because the night before, his bride said something that cut deeper than anything I had experienced in 27 years of raising him. She leaned close, calm, controlled, precise. After tomorrow, you are no longer part of this family. No anger, no hesitation, just certainty. Let that sink in. 27 years. That is how long I raised Ethan alone. His father left when he was 7. One night he was there. The next morning, his closet was empty. No explanation, no goodbye, just silence. Ethan stood in the doorway holding a toy dinosaur, asking me when his father would come back. I remember forcing a smile that felt like it was tearing my face apart. He will come back soon, I said. He never did. So I became everything. Mother, father, provider, protector. I worked double shifts at a hospital cafeteria. My hands smelled like oil and bleach most nights. There were days I barely had the strength to stand, but I still packed Ethan's lunch before school. I learned how to stretch $100 into 2 weeks. I learned how to hide exhaustion behind a smile. And I learned that love sometimes means surviving quietly. Ethan grew up kind, focused, strong. He studied late. He never complained. He once told me he wanted to become a lawyer so he could protect people who had no one else. That sentence carried me for years. So when he introduced Vanessa Cole 3 years ago, I wanted to believe she was part of his future. She was beautiful, polished, confident, the kind of woman who made people straighten their posture when she walked into a room. Ethan looked at her like she was everything. At first, I told myself I was lucky. Maybe I was gaining a daughter. But something never sat right. Small things. The way her smile faded the moment Ethan left the room. The way her eyes moved over my clothes, my hands, my face, like she was calculating something. Every conversation turned into money, status, opportunity. I ignored it because I trusted my son, because I believed love mattered. I was wrong. The night before the wedding, I brought a scrapbook. Every memory I had saved. His first day of school, his graduation, the crooked smile he had when he lost his first tooth. I thought maybe she would understand what he meant to me. She did not even look at it. She stepped closer instead. "You have done your job," she said. My fingers tightened around the cover. "You raised him. That is where your role ends." My chest tightened. She tilted her head slightly. "Do not come tomorrow. It will be better for everyone." I should have argued. I should have called Ethan. I should have cut, but I did not. Because in that moment, something changed. The pain stayed, but underneath it, something colder formed. Clarity. That was the moment I stopped seeing Vanessa as family and started seeing her as a threat. By the time Ethan stood at that altar the next day, I was no longer reacting. I was acting. Chapter 2 expanded a core drama. The truth did not begin that night. It began months earlier. At first, it was subtle. Vanessa asking Ethan about his future income instead of his plans. Vanessa correcting him in front of people but smiling while doing it. Vanessa slowly creating distance between us, one small decision at a time. She never confronted me in front of him. That was what made her dangerous. She waited until we were alone. Then her voice changed. Cold, sharp, measured, like every word had already been tested. I remember one afternoon clearly. Ethan stepped out to take a call. The room fell quiet. Vanessa looked at me. No smile. No pretense. "You should let go," she said. "Of what?" I asked. She shrugged. "Of him." Something about the way she said it made my stomach turn. That was the first real moment I felt it. Not dislike, not discomfort. Danger. I started paying attention after that. Not emotionally. Strategically. Patterns began to form. Ethan stopped calling as often. Family dinners became rare. When we did meet, Vanessa controlled the conversation. She spoke for him sometimes, subtle, but deliberate. Then one day everything shifted. I heard her on the phone. She was in the kitchen. I was in the hallway. Her voice was different. No warmth. No charm. "You will get your part after the wedding," she said quietly. "Just make sure everything is ready." My heart started pounding. I did not move. I did not interrupt. I listened. And in that moment, I knew this was not love. This was a plan. That night, I did not sleep. I sat at my kitchen table with a notebook and a pen. I wrote down everything I remembered, every interaction, every detail, every inconsistency. Then I started digging. Public records, previous addresses, business filings. It took hours, then days. And what I found made my hands go cold. Vanessa Cole had a history. Not official, not proven in court, but visible if you looked closely enough. Men with stable careers, quick engagements, joint accounts. Then financial collapse, lawsuits that never fully landed, disappearances, pattern after pattern. Ethan was not special. He was next. I felt sick, but I did not panic. I organized. I contacted a lawyer, then a private investigator, then someone who specialized in financial fraud cases. I gathered evidence, transaction patterns, communication logs, recorded conversations. Every piece mattered. I did not confront her, because confrontation would have warned her. And if she ran, Ethan would never believe me. So I waited. And I built something stronger than suspicion. Proof! The night before the wedding, when she told me not to come, I realized something important. She believed she had already won. That was her mistake, because the wedding was not the end of her plan. It was the beginning, the moment she gained full access. The next morning, my phone would not stop ringing. Ethan called, texted, voicemails filled with confusion. "Mom, where are you?" I did not answer. Instead, I made one call, then another. Then I sat down and waited. The wedding collapse. Extended climax. At the venue, everything looked perfect. White flowers lined the aisle. Soft music filled the room. Guests smiled and whispered. Vanessa walked in like she owned the world. Her dress was flawless. Her posture perfect. Her expression controlled. Ethan looked at her like nothing else existed. The officiant began. Vows were seconds away. Then the doors opened. Hard. Loud. Final. The music stopped. Every head turned. Police officers walked in. Not rushed. Not chaotic. Calm. Certain. Vanessa froze. For 1 second, her mask cracked. That was all it took. "Vanessa Cole," one officer said, clear and steady. "You are under arrest for financial fraud and identity-related charges." Silence. Complete silence. Ethan stepped back. "What is this?" he said. "There has to be a mistake." Vanessa laughed. "Too quickly. Too forced." "This is ridiculous," she said. "You are ruining my wedding." But her hands were shaking. The officers moved forward. She stepped back. Her heel slipped slightly on the polished floor. That was the moment everyone saw it. The truth. Not the perfect woman. Not the composed bride. But someone losing control. They cuffed her at the altar. In front of everyone. Phones were still recording. But now no one was smiling. Ethan stood frozen. His entire world collapsing in real time. Chapter 3. Expanded Resolution. By noon, the wedding was over. Guests left quietly. No music. No laughter. Just shock. Vanessa was gone. Taken away without ceremony. Without dignity. Without control. Ethan called me. This time I answered. His voice broke immediately. "Mom, what happened?" I closed my eyes. "It is over," I said. There was silence. Then anger. "Did you know?" "Yes." "Why did you not tell me?" "Because you would not have listened." I needed you to see it," I said. Hours later, he came to my house. He looked different. Not just tired. Empty. He sat down across from me. I showed him everything. Every document. Every recording. Every piece of truth. He went through it slowly. Then faster. Then he stopped. His hands started shaking. "I almost married her," he whispered. "Yes?" He looked at me. Really looked. For the first time in years. "I am sorry," he said. And just like that, 27 years of sacrifice finally mattered. I did not ruin my son's wedding. I saved his life. And the woman who told me I was not part of the family, she never became one. So let me ask you something. If you were in my place, would you have stopped the wedding or stayed silent?